So you don't want to waste your time learning PHP? Well, you reached the right video. Let me explain. This video is brought to you by DigiLink Academy, your #1 source to learning programming fast and get to that 6-figure freelance salary you desire. Our courses include our SQL Project course, our Freelance Kickstarter, our Python course, and our interview programming course, and much, much more. So if you haven't already, go ahead and click the link below to get to our free 7-step freelance guide so that we can help take your career to the next level. I'll see you guys in the course. All right, guys, you're concerned about learning PHP and are you wasting your time? Well, we're going to get right into it. I got some points here I want to cover with you guys and really kind of cover this problem. So let's start with the problem first, guys. So you're confused about which programming language you want to learn. You're hearing a lot of people say, learn this, learn that, and you're just trying to figure out where to start so that you can start learning and get that job you want to make those 6 figures. But there's so many directions you can go, and PHP is one of those programming languages that actually came up on the radar. And you're trying to figure out, can I learn PHP to really leverage my skills and get that job that I want? So the quick answer, guys, is yes. The takeaway is you can always leverage PHP in the freelance market as far as just WordPress development, all of those freelance areas. And plus, in the enterprise world, you can leverage this as a second language as well. I do a lot of C# and SQL work, but at the end of the day, there are some applications where I use PHP, especially when you start to get into WordPress side of things, web development. A lot of things on the web leverage PHP. And it's a good language to learn really quick. The learning curve is not that bad. And that's the good way to get started with PHP. But before you go just hell-bent on PHP, you got to know where PHP fall within the scope of programming in the business world, so you can know what languages you need to learn in which situations, and also put yourself in a position where if you want to work at a specific job market, you know which programming language they're looking for, and you can know the differences, when to use PHP, when to use C#, when to use SQL, and that. And I got some points here I want to cover with you guys here. So at the end of the day, guys, I want to start some engagement on this channel. Go ahead and tell me about your experience with this problem when you're trying to learn PHP. Was it insightful for you? Did it help you? Go ahead and comment below and let's start a conversation below as far as just your personal experience with PHP, and specifically were you able to get a job in PHP? So comment below. Also below, guys, if you haven't already, links to my 7-step guide is going to help you guys take your career to the next level and really put you in a position so that you can leverage your PHP skills to get a job. Links are below. Get that free guide. And if you already got that free guide, go ahead and try the premium courses as well, guys. Going to really put you in a position so that you can get those projects and really advance your career and get that 6-figure salary you deserve. So that being said, guys, wanted to really kind of get into some detail and kind of make sure not only I give you guys some straight points, but I also give you guys some insights on PHP and the use cases for it so that you can kind of know when to use PHP, when to use C#, and vice versa. That being said, guys, I'm always trying to figure out, okay, put yourself in the shoes of a junior PHP developer. And you're trying to figure out, okay, first of all, how do I learn programming as fast and as efficient as possible? Because a lot of people struggle at the beginning as a developer, just trying to learn, and they get intimidated. And you want to get past that stage as quickly as possible, and you want to learn a programming language that allow you to not only learn it fast, but be able to create projects and feel good about yourself and get into the job market and be able to be a productive software developer. PHP is that language, guys, especially compared to other low-level languages. It's very easy to get started. You got a huge community. The learning curve is really good. As far as just in the freelance world, you can use something like cPanel and WordPress and Joomla and so many other programs, Sugar CRM, to really kind of figure out how to build those projects and be a successful developer, PHP developer. The problem come in at, guys, is actually when you start to get in the enterprise world, especially in certain segments. When you start to deal with CRMs and more the enterprise application, they tend to lean to the C# and the Javas, like Salesforce. I think it's Apex, which is kind of like a version of Java. And then you start to get in the Microsoft world with the C# and the Microsoft Dynamics and all that as well. And then if you go in the OS level, a lower level language, you start to get into the OS, the C++, the C's and things like that. And you tend to wonder, well, do I really want to learn PHP? Or do I want to stick with one of those others? And I want to let you guys just give you more insights on how to pick a programming language better and where PHP lives in that scope. So first off, if you're dealing with any kind of web development, especially when it comes to like automating things on the web development, doing calls, APIs, things like that, PHP is good for that kind of stuff. It lives along with a lot of JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and a lot of the back-end programming languages leverage it as well, but especially in the web development world. If you're doing anything WordPress, that's the first place you go. Any extensions to it, any integrations, automatically go to PHP. Sugar CRM, that's where things start to get great. Once you go beyond the web development, and that's when you start to get into that hybrid mode. Just say if you work for a company that leverage C# and SQL, and you're wondering, Rod, what is anybody going to be doing in a C# and SQL world with PHP? Well, I work in those environments, and a lot of those people leverage WordPress, leverage online things like I'll give you a perfect example. You got people who love to use the Google Analytics tracking, things like that, to integrate with their Salesforce CRMs and things like that. PHP does a wonderful job of integrating between the two. If you know that program language, you can use Python and others, JavaScript as well. But just like all the others, you can use PHP as well. And those are just a few things you can do to really leverage your existing PHP skills. I had a guy one time before that started with PHP. I started with PHP before I started to get into SQL. Like, I started with the Lambda stack, PHP, MySQL, then I got into SQL, which is Microsoft SQL, and then kind of got into C# after that. But I still, to this day, all of my stuff that I use for my website and a lot of stuff that I use for my personal stuff is all, well, mostly written PHP, not all. My website, PHP. A lot of the back-end processes I also leverage PHP as well. cPanel, all the applications on there, mostly is going to be PHP. So there's a really good chance that you can still leverage PHP and get some very good projects out of it. But at the end of the day, guys, I can sit here and chirp all day about PHP. But like I was saying before, I want to make sure you engage as well. Just trying to figure out how to get more developers involved. I really feel like PHP is one of those languages that you can start with, along with Python, along with JavaScript. A lot of the front end GUIs, those are really good languages to start with. So I always recommend them. But you got to know where their place is in the job market, in the business, so that you can also know when to start to switch or pivot to start leveraging C#, SQL versus MySQL and PHP. So guys, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we pick one programming language, learn the fundamentals, loops, arrays, all that stuff. Learn how to navigate code, read code, be able to know how to go in and change code without breaking it, know how to comment the basics, and then jump into projects, guys. Jump into real world projects. You know, when you're training, you got to calculate apps, all that stuff to kind of learn what the how to navigate code and all that. But you quickly want to get into those business projects so that you can put those projects on your portfolio and put you in a position to win, guys. So at the end of the day, want to do that, you can always leverage PHP as a second language and you'll be good to go. A lot of you developers are just getting started, man. I can only imagine coming in today, trying to get a job as a PHP developer in a freelance world. You can do that all day long and get those jobs online, remotely. Upwork, Freelance, Upwork, Elance, all the online platforms, they love that kind of stuff. But once you start to get into some of these corporate environments, they still think PHP is used for the, I would say, it's not a scalable language. It's not an enterprise level language, but PHP has come a long way, especially a newer version of PHP. You can do just as much as in PHP than C#. Just a matter of perception at this point in my mind, and the tools that are available on an enterprise level, especially since Oracle kind of bought out MySQL, and then it's inherit a lot of the PHP code that supports the MySQL infrastructure. It just makes it that much better, guys. So subscribe to the content. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out my 7-step guide below. I'll put a link on the screen here. Go check that out. Check out my premium courses, and also tell me your experience about PHP. Are you struggling? Are you learning? Let's go ahead and comment below. Subscribe to the content. Again, here it is. We're gonna put it on the screen for you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.